Madam Mim was feeling particularly chilly that morning. A crisp wind rattled the windows of her cottage, and even her thickest robe couldn't keep out the creeping cold. "This will never do," she muttered, rubbing her hands together for warmth. "I need something warm and cozy, something woolly." Then she remembered her friend Grandma Duck. If there was one person who knew how to make warm, woolly things, it was her. Without another thought, she grabbed her broomstick and zoomed off towards Grandma Duck's farm. Grandma Duck was sitting on her porch, wrapped in a warm, hand-knitted jumper, her needles clicking away as she worked on another. A steaming cup of tea sat beside her, and the gentle clucking of hens filled the crisp morning air. "Grandma Duck," Madam Mim called as she landed with a thud, nearly toppling into a haystack. "My goodness, Mim." Grandma Duck chuckled, looking up from her knitting. "You look like a frozen turkey. What brings you here in such a rush?" "I need a warm jumper," Madam Mim declared dramatically. "One as cozy as the one you're wearing." "Will you make me one?" Grandma Duck smiled kindly. "Oh, I would, dearie, but I'm already busy knitting jumpers for Donald and his nephews." "Why don't I teach you how to knit one yourself?" Madam Mim hesitated. Knitting, that seemed like an awful lot of work. But if it meant she'd get a jumper, she supposed it was worth a try. "All right," she said, plopping down onto a stool beside Grandma Duck. "Show me how it's done." Grandma Duck handed Madam Mim a pair of knitting needles and a ball of soft, purple wool. "Now hold the needles like this and wrap the yarn around your fingers like so. Then you make a loop and—" Madam Mim frowned, staring at the needles as if they were cursed objects. She tried to follow Grandma's instructions, but the yarn slipped through her fingers, tangling into a mess. She poked herself with the needles, nearly tied her fingers together, and within minutes, her knitting project looked more like a bird's nest than a jumper. "Arg!" she cried, tossing the tangled mess onto the ground. "This is impossible," Grandma Duck chuckled. "It takes patience. Dear, try again." Madam Mim sighed and picked up the needles once more. She tried her hardest, but no matter what she did, she kept dropping her stitches. Her fingers felt clumsy, and the more frustrated she got, the worse it became. Just then, Gus Goose waddled into the kitchen, licking his fingers from the apple pie he had just finished eating. He stopped in his tracks, staring at the scene before him. Madam Mim looked as if she'd just fought a battle with a ball of yarn and lost. "What in the world are you doing?" Gus asked, tilting his head. "Trying to knit," Madam Mim grumbled, holding up her disastrous attempt and failing miserably. Gus frowned. "Why are you bothering to knit yourself? You're a witch. You can just use magic." Madam Mim blinked. Oh, silly me." She clapped her hands in delight. "You're absolutely right. Gus, why waste time knitting when I can simply conjure up exactly what I want?" She grabbed her wand, stood up, and cleared her throat. With a dramatic flourish, she chanted, "Abracadabra, bring me 4 woolly jumpers, 1 red, 1 blue, 1 pink, and 1 green." The kitchen filled with a dazzling flash of silver stars, and for a moment, everything was silent. Then, B-A-A, B-A-A. Madam Mim's eyes widened as 4 brightly colored sheep suddenly appeared in the middle of the kitchen. One was red, One was blue, one was pink, and one was green. And to make things worse, they were jumping over Grandma Duck's chairs as if they were in some kind of contest. "What?" Madam Mim screeched. "I asked for woolly jumpers, not jumping sheep." Grandma Duck and Gus Goose burst into laughter. "Oh, Mim, dear," Grandma said between chuckles, "you got exactly what you asked for. Sheep are woolly, and they do jump, ba bleated the pink sheep as it leapt onto the table, knocking over Grandma Duck's teapot. Madam Mim groaned in frustration. "Bah!" She huffed, waving her hands at the sheep. "Get off the furniture." But the sheep didn't listen. The blue one pranced around the kitchen, knocking over a basket of apples. The red one nibbled at a tablecloth. The green one stuck its head into the flour sack, sneezing out a white cloud of flour that covered everything, including a very startled Gus Goose. "Hey!" Gus sputtered, waving the flour away. "Now I look like a ghost." Madam Mim grabbed her wand and pointed it at the chaotic scene. "All right, that's enough. Back to where you came from." She waved her wand, but nothing happened. "Oh no," Grandma Duck said, shaking her head. "You must have made a mistake in your spell. Looks like those sheep aren't going anywhere until you fix it." Madam Mim groaned again. "Great, just great." For the next hour, she and Gus Goose chased the colorful sheep all over the farm, trying to corral them into the yard. The red one refused to stop bouncing. The blue one kept running in circles. The pink one got stuck in the hen house, and the green one kept trying to climb onto the roof. By the time they finally got all four sheep into a fenced area, Madam Mim was out of breath, covered in hay, and thoroughly annoyed. "That does it," she huffed, dusting herself off. "I give up on magic today." Grandma Duck handed her a cup of tea, still chuckling at the disaster. "Perhaps next time you'll be more careful with your wording." "Perhaps," Madam Mim grumbled. "But you know what? Next time I need a woolly jumper, I'll just buy one from a shop." Gus Goose snickered. Probably a good idea. And with that, Madam Mim flopped onto a chair, exhausted, as the colorful sheep happily grazed in the yard, completely unaware of the trouble they had caused.